It's not a question of if Goddess Mode sucks. It's how bad it sucks. And how bad does this book suck? Like some jackass slobbering all over your junk giving you a shitty loose grip hand job. While I was reading this book, quotes from Fight Club just kept popping into my head. I want to have your abortion. I bet that's what Zoe Quinn's pitch was to Robbie Rodriguez. Let's have a baby, but kill it before it grows hands and feet. What you get is something that's technically human, but looks like a shrimp. And that's what we get with Goddess Mode. It's technically a comic, but it looks like the ravings of a self-absorbed narcissist who only got the book because of blind cronyism. Cause that's exactly what happened. I have no idea why DC Comics would give Zoe Quinn a book. There's no value in her name. She's pretty much despised by most of the gaming and geek community. Anyone who actually knows who she is wouldn't come within the same zip code as her, let alone buy her book. Now, I'm not going to give a full rundown on literally who. You can look that up online. Just look up Deep Freeze Zoe Quinn and you'll get all the info you need. The gist is that she abused her boyfriend, he went public and told how Quinn buddied up to gaming journalists to pimp her interactive novel which she called a game. Quinn played the victim, and the gaming press and progressive media fell for it and started deleting comments and started banning anyone who mentioned Rainbow Blight. That led to Gamergate, and this is pretty much the only reason anyone knows about literally who. What makes no sense at all is why DC would give her a book. Like I said, she's got no selling value whatsoever. You could print a book with a blank cover and blank pages and it legitimately sell more and read better than anything Quinn could create. What you're seeing here is nothing but cronyism. Far-left ideologues hiring their friends or anyone who has the right politics. This was done to be a fuck you to comic book fans who don't like the man-hating feminist the feminist crowd. It's like, haha, we'll give someone who couldn't write a coherent 3-word sentence a comic book just to spite you. And we'll make it the flagship title for our relaunch of the Vertigo imprint. Okay, but why? This is like getting mad that people don't like your hairstyle and then hacking off chunks of your own hair. I still don't like it, and now you look like an even bigger ass. Quinn's benefited from this kind of cronyism for years. She's been to the United Nations to speak against people expressing their dislike for her shitty behavior and even shittier work. She doesn't want to be criticized, so that criticism must be harassment. She benefited again this year when the Hugo Awards nominated her memoir in the Best Related Work category. This would be like the Academy Awards nominating someone because they talked about cameras one time. Quinn has no experience writing seriously, let alone writing a comic, and it shows. Immediately. This is the first page, and I'm just going to read it, and you're going to listen because go fuck yourself. I know. I should be trying to stay out of trouble right now, and you should be here to give me your millionth stern dead lecture about picking my battles. But you're not. Turns out a lot of things don't go the way they should, but for whatever it's worth, I didn't pick this fight. It picked me. Probably because I'm an easy win. Unfortunately for everyone involved, I'm exhaustingly difficult. Or maybe I'm just exhausted. I wish I was a fantasy badass who could keep throwing herself at brick walls, struggling off the pain and telling herself that eventually she'll break through. But I'm not her. I'm a barely functioning bundle of neurosis who can't master putting on a fitted sheet. I don't stand a chance at solving problems bigger than me. And this one is much, much bigger. Woo. And it gets worse. The bulk of this book, literally 2/3 of this book, is a massive info dump where the resident lobotomy patient Cassandra opines about her comatose father, how super duper smart she is, because SJWs always make their characters so much smarter than everyone else, and about whatever random shit pops into Quinn's mind as she wrote this. There's zero editing in this book. Zero. Not the slightest bit. Look at these pages. Look at this wall of text. It just goes on and on and on, and nothing happens. The book starts with a rambling action scene that I just read. Then we learn that the girl who got her ass handed to her may be someone named Cassandra. It's not clear because you can't tell whether that's her avatar in another world or it's just some shit that's happening while she's talking. Cassandra's father helped create the system called Azoth that basically controls everything. There's another system called Psyche that interacts with people. This system operates via nanotech because Quinn's not clever enough to come up with anything better. Cassandra's father has some disease that leaves him in a coma. Apparently the Azoth system can cure any known disease except for this one, people with it are housed in these wards hidden within the company Hermeticorp's headquarters. Cassandra breaks into this place just to talk to her dad. That's it. She's not there to cure him, to check on the disease's progression, or to really do anything useful. She's just there. And the best I can tell is that this is just to get through the info dump. This is where an editor should have stepped in and said, Zoe, Pumpkin, I don't know what the fuck is going on, and I don't care. You haven't told me anything about Cassandra that makes her interesting. She comes off as a bragging know-it-all super douche who uses her father's illness as a soapbox to whine about her life. I thought you already wrote a memoir. Seriously, we know nothing about this woman outside of her ego and how much she misses her dad, since now she's got to handle all that validating by herself. So then the Azos system, that runs everything, suddenly breaks down. I mean, the whole fucking thing just crashes. So Super Genius here decides to hack the security system to save the patients since Azos runs everything, including their health support. As she does this, the real security actually shows up and we find out she's just a hologram. The security stabilizes everyone and cuts the power to Cassandra's feet, booting her out. So really, nothing happened. Zoe Quinn's culturally appropriated residual self-image broke into the security system to monologue for 3 agonizing pages, Discount Cyberdyne breaks down for 10 seconds, and then everything goes back to normal. So what was the point of the scene? Think about it from a story perspective. Cassandra doesn't gain or lose anything. Whatever skill she shows off goes by too fast and ultimately doesn't matter because everything resets at the end. You just have the scene there for the sake of putting it there. Just like the follow-up, we see Cassandra has a roommate who likes to have digital sex with kaiju, because why not? And then Cassandra gets contacted by her boss to talk about how she used his credentials to hack the security grid. But instead of punishing her, he promotes her. Kind of. He really just sends her to check on the guy after whom that weird disease is named, Tucker Brady. The boss does have a slightly cool moment where he says that all of Cassandra's talents mean jack shit because she needs the augments Hermeticorp provides that let her breathe the polluted air that she lives in, and because she's layered in debt. Of course, if Cassandra were this super duper star hacker, you'd think she'd rig the system to clear her debt or transfer it to a false name. You know, the subplot from Ready Player One that's such a painfully obvious thing to do that only someone with 0 writing skill would fail to do it. So then we meet Ryan Reynolds. I'm not joking. I think that's who this guy is actually supposed to be. Whether he is or not, one thing is clear. He has no point in this damn story. He is just there, all smug and rich, and then flies off with his little jet boots. Why do we meet him? What is his purpose? There's nothing he says or does that adds to the story. Again, an editor would have cut him out, beefed up the scene, or saved it for later. We're halfway through the book now, and nothing's actually happened. It's basically a day in the life of Zoe Quinn's race-bent avatar. It's nice that you want dark skin, Zoe, but we've already got Kravitz and Saldana. We don't need you. And while wannabe black girl scopes out the code managing Tucker Brady's body, she notices the code is different than anything she's seen before. It's not even code. There's actually something under the code. What the fuck does that even mean? This is 5th grade level knockoff Matrix speak. You have no idea what you're doing, do you, Zoe? You're just writing whatever pops into your head. This shit makes no sense at all. At all. So Cassandra gets sucked into the code or under the code or whatever, and the Wicked Witch from the West shows up. This is where we suddenly get some action, but it still makes no sense because it's not clear who this person is, why Cassandra looks different, or what the hell is going on. The dialogue doesn't help either. It's the villain boasting about killing her. Then we get some more crap about Cassandra's dad being so important, and then the cast from Revolution 60 shows up. Seriously, this totally looks like the cast from Brianna Wu's failed video game. They show up and basically fuck with Cassandra, telling her to use her magic by shouting magic words. She does, and it doesn't work, so they mock her. And she's like, whoever you are you trying to actually help, or did you come to just roast me like that last mysterious asshole? Okay, you got me, Zoe. How could you tell? Was it the way I kept rolling my eyes? Maybe how I kept having to take a break after every other page? Nah, it was a shit-eating grin, wasn't it? I'm gonna have to work on that. You can hear me smiling, can't you? Yeah, I'm gonna have to fix that. So then the Sheroes beat whatever the hell this thing is and recruit the worst Twisted Sister cosplay ever to be part of their team because of course they would. And still, we don't have a fucking clue what's happening, who any of these people are, or how the world actually functions, or why we should care about Zoe Quinn's sock puppet. This whole book is just pointless. It's not even a retread of good ideas. It's the microwave doggy bag of refried beans of ideas. It's a mess. A rambling mess that makes Magdalene Visaggio look competent in comparison. And the worst part is that resident asshole Robbie Rodriguez, who ironically is a good artist, is totally wasted. Most of this book is just talking heads, so he's really got fuck all to draw. The action scenes are okay if you can follow what's going on. The styling and coloring distract from the action. Too many bright colors with nothing to guide the eye. You don't know where to look, so whatever cool imagery there is just gets lost. Totally wasted. Print the damn thing in black and white, it'll probably make more sense. This is supposed to be Vertigo's flagship book. This. You want to take this book and set it next to Preacher and Hellblazer. Really? In what world does it make sense that this book would be the thing Vertigo would hail as its pinnacle story? Now, let's be fair, this isn't the worst comic I've ever read, but it's still a mess. An obvious mess. From page 1. That DC let something like this get published is an embarrassment. It's just ridiculous. Zoe Quinn has no idea how to structure a comic. She has no idea how to do any pacing, any character development, no concept of how these ideas work on the page. It's not even prose. If you read this as a novel, you'd throw it at the fucking wall. Who read her script and went, yeah, let's publish that? You should be fired. You shouldn't have your job. You should literally lose your fucking job. But to put this under the Vertigo line, Vertigo, an imprint that has been hailed for its creativity and its artistry and its breathtaking storytelling, you put this under that banner. That's a sin. A fucking sin. You need your asses whooped for publishing this book. Go find your mama and let her strip you down to your bare ass and beat you with a fucking belt for having published this book. Don't publish the second issue. Just don't. Forget that this book even exists. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. But what do I know? I'm just, no. It's just, I can't believe you actually did. I can't believe you actually published this shit. I thought it was a joke. I thought you were just going, we'll do it and then move. No, you actually published it. Son of a bitch.